From Los Angeles, we're inside the business of acting with actor, director, acting coach, and wonderful guy.
And we should talk about the fundraising.
Yes, but I wasn't finished introducing you.
But I understand.
Can I-
But I was just going to say you've left it off other times, and I thought since this
made a
is my
mistake.
last shot.
No, there's another. No,
there's
if
another
you're good,
segment.
we'll do another.
Oh, okay.
If.
Okay.
That's
a very big if.
That's as good as live as you get on the World Wide
so
Web.
hard on
I
me.
am.
You're a taskmaster.
Hey,
I find myself speaking very clearly when I'm with you.
you do.
Yeah,
I know.
it's because of your Boston background.
Is it?
Yeah.
And
you guys threw the tea over the ship, and
well,
the rest
and that
is history.
Being a powerhouse in the business of acting.
Thank you very much.
You know, power.
Well,
Yes, if you're going to give a plug to my book,
I
I'll
am going
be
to give a
quiet
plug
minute.
to your book because I say to everybody that I encounter, and particularly people who are new to the business of acting, that this is the primer. This is the one to start with. This is the one to explore. This is the one that has more information about what the current climate is like, because it changes. It has changed dramatically since when I started. Just the advent of the internet alone. Whereas everything was done by snail mail and or walking into an office.
Can't get access anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're
Thank
welcome.
You for that. This is Henry Polic II, and we are back here for segment 3 with Henry here on the Virtual Channel Network, and thank you for returning for our segment 3. Thank you.
Our colloquy.
All right, is that what it is?
Yes.
See, when I look at you, it's very interesting. I either want to, talk about when things were rotten, I want to talk about Uncle Jerry on Webster, or I want to play Dick Clark and give you pyramid categories. I mean, that's focus. I mean, you can't just be the game show stuff has nothing to do with acting. You just got to be a smart, focused person.
Well,
to
it's
do
about
it, right?
focus. But then if you're a good actor, you have to focus in on what you're doing. So it was an easy translation for me.
You made a lot of money for contestants on the pyramid.
I did.
Not on commission or anything, right?
No.
No.
But it never occurred to me to do it otherwise.
Yeah.
Because I knew how hard it was to get on those shows.
Was it really? I mean, it's like to
it's
be
very
become a
difficult.
contestant?
But yeah, because but more importantly, only because the shot that you have is 2 rounds, and if you don't win either of those rounds, you don't come back.
Oh, and then you have to win them like 2 times in order to get to the big.
No, you only have to win 1 to get to the end game in the original in the original pyramid,
Right.
not the one that was established through the Game Show Network and with Donny Osmond as the host, because they did change the format in that, and it was it's like everything, it all changes. So whether it made it better or not, I am not the one to really criticize it. I will just leave it at that. But it did not last as long as the original. 15
There was a genre, and that's a guy who we both know who is a very close person in your life, Bob Stewart, who is really behind a whole era of game shows. That
he is part of the golden age of
extraordinary.
television,
Yeah, he sure
and he is recognized by the Television Academy for that. And he is. You can go to the Museum of Television Arts and Sciences, and they have a whole segment of interviews with him. He interviewed. He also had games that were not so much games as they were interview things. Where he had a game called Personality.
Yeah.
Where he would go interview these stars at length, and then bring them on, and the panelists had to guess what they would say. They would leave how would they have answered this question that I asked them, and then the real answer would be exposed, and then the person who got it would win the points, etc.
I miss that era. I just thought I would say that.
Well, the Game Show Network is actually starting to get into that. They're going back to
New
a lot
stuff.
of it. But they've
reuse old
redone.
stuff. Yeah.
To Tell the Truth is on.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that have come back.
This is good.
Yeah.
Well, after when I get home, I'll.
Now, you left off with the directing thing.
Yes, I did. So thank you, because as I age,
I understand.
you could see I was a little.
The fact that it's happening before my eyes is
We'll be right back.
it's like we went to Shangri-La and you stepped over the mountain.
Whatever happened to Bobby Van? But anyway, that's another story. Lost Horizon reference. So here's my theory: is that there's no better director of actors than an actor. Because an actor who knows how to change hats and focus has the sensitivity of an actor. He understands the stress, the struggle, the frustration, the fear that an actor has in coming into a new project, a new role, and can work with that actor in getting the best performance possible. Is that, do you share that, or you have a different philosophy?
I do share that. I will give it a little bit of a twist in that I would say that any director worth his salt that doesn't take an acting course or several acting courses, at least to experience what it's like to be directed, because that's how you really are informed about being a really good director, in just the way that you stated. Because how can you know what is the right line of communication? The late and great director, teacher, and actor, Charles Nelson Riley, is the quintessential example of how it is to be a great director, having had the experiences that he had and what he brought to you. And he would use in his classes, he would talk about the kind of language that goes between an actor and a director, and a director knowing just the right word to say to that particular personality and whatever they're going through at that time. Now, there are great actors who don't need as much guidance, etc. But
there are many who rely on it.
it's, you know, it's much like something that Bob Stewart told me about being a game show host. You have to know how to play the game better than anybody who comes on the show. And I think that that's true about being a director. You have to know how to play all of the angles of it better than anybody else who's there. Or at least have a working knowledge of it to where you can understand their problem. One of the great gifts that I was given getting my MFA was that we were required to involve ourselves in all of the disciplines of theater. Costuming, lighting, directing, stage building, stage management, all of those things. So when I go into a directing situation, I'm immediately aware of, and I always say my opening line to everybody in the technical meeting I said, this is my wish list. So we'll take it from there. And you would be surprised how many people don't approach directing on that basis.
Well, it's very inclusive, actually, when you say that.
Because it is an inclusive process. We do not work in a void. We have to have, we're the captains of the ship. We're the ones who bring all of this together and make it work. Otherwise.
Yeah. And so in the directing process, you're also involved in the casting process, right? You are making...
boy, do you learn a lot about your own auditions as an actor.
Yeah.
When you go through 100 people who come into that room to audition for a role and you go, wow. That's why a lot of good casting directors have had acting experience. A good friend of ours, John Brace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Started out as an actor and is now
Grey's Anatomy,
multi-Emmy-winning casting director.
Absolutely. But there are also great actors who can't audition well.
No, that's true. And that, you know, it takes a really good director and casting director to be able to go to fight through that haze of the guy that cannot audition as well as he ends up performing. So you do look for certain things. And it may be that they're just not good with cold text, you know, or what we call a cold reading.
Well, but this, you know, there's so much pressure on the audition process. I mean, as an actor, you know this, and as a director, you see it when they come in to audition for you, because you never get to audition enough, and there's so much pressure you put on yourself to, I really, really need this job, and you're probably rusty because it's been a while and through no fault of anybody's, and so...
everything that you've listed is something you can't control.
Yeah.
The only element that you can control is the knowledge of your material and what you're going to bring to it that is like nobody else bringing it to. I always say to somebody that I'm coaching for an audition, what is it about you that will inform this role that nobody else is going to bring into that room? And it's you. So what you need to do is take yourself and put yourself in that circumstance and take the context of what the scene is about. And there's so much information on a side that you're given that people gloss over all the time. It is a rare circumstance, even at this point in my career, which has, I will start in 1973 when I did my first equity production. Prior to that, you know, I'd been doing it since I was 12, so I've got, you know, 50,
a lot of years.
A lot of years. A lot of years.
That was dodged a bullet there.
I dodged a bullet there. But and I still will, if it's a very important and complicated scene, I'll coach. I'll go seek a coach. You are doing yourself a disservice if you count on yourself. You are a great manager in that regard because you let your clients come to you and audition with you if you feel that it's something that they need some help on.
I do. Thank you.
And that's an important element.
They need some. You need help along
It's like
the way.
anything.
It's another
because,
perspective.
well, walking into a room of strangers and not being prepared, like again, what I said, the elements that you control. And I always say that your best job is to be prepared 150% because when you walk through that door, I guarantee it, you're going to lose 50%. So at the 150% mark, you're going to be 100% for the audition. And for goodness sake, don't bring in the baggage of the day to the audition. And don't bring in, oh, I didn't get to park on the lot. Don't bring in, it's so damn hot and I had to travel all this way and I'm probably not going to get to anything. The last thing you want to do is bring in any negative energy because your job as the actor is to solve the problem, not create one. You walk,
No, go ahead.
you walk into the room and you give them a problem, it's compounding their problem.
Right, so no chance. You're not going to get the job.
No, you're not.
But what I wanted to add to that is that it also takes a smart, strong, confident, prepared actor.
Yes.
To do that. Because there are so many, and when we have, I think this was good, we'll do one more segment if that's okay. Because I want to reward you because you've been very, for the money you're getting paid to do this, it's very good. Thank you.
Not even a bagel.
Hello.
It's all right.
But you understand emotionally how the actor, whatever the circumstances are that that are happening before they get to the audition, on the way to the audition, there are still the circumstances of the greater picture of what is or is not more likely, more not, that isn't happening in their career, that they put that pressure on themselves. So they have to be able to find a way to stop that. And to,
well, it's the same kind of thing as, look at, you walk into a room and your hand is shaking when you're doing the audition, you're not going to get the job because I'll tell you why. There's going to be 150 people watching you do that when they say action. And they're not going to trust the job to you with that level of nerves. So how do you harness that? Because the only way to do it is to know exactly what you're going to do, not be ambivalent about any moment that you've chosen. Ambivalence is the killer of any good audition. Know exactly what you want to do. Do I sound strident?
And stay with it.
And stay with it.
And if you found that to be fabulous advice, wait till what they're going to hear you say in segment 4. And we haven't even recorded segment 4 yet.
Okay.
Would you hold that thought?
I'm holding it.
Because this is the best segue.
The word that will get me back into this is focus.
Cleveland.
So,
I don't
why Cleveland?
I don't know. It just is a funny, it's like Philadelphia.
Well, it has a K.
Philadelphia.
A K sound.
A K sound.
Not that it's spelled. It's not. It's C.
Right. This is Henry Polic II, actor, director, acting coach. And we're inside the business of acting talking about stuff we hope will empower you in the journey of your career. We're going to come back for segment 4, and we hope that you will join us here on the Virtual Channel Network in Los Angeles. I'm Brad Lamack, and we will see you soon.